Hi everyone, Debbie here. Welcome to Bliss on Demand. So today's 30-minute class is from the Holistic Hybrid series, and I'm going to do a HIIT yoga core themed workout today. So we're going to be doing 4 blocks of exercise, working for 30 seconds at a time. So the first block is our warm-up block. So we're going to do 4 different mobility and yoga-based warm-up sections to get you going. And then after you've repeated that a couple of times, you're then going to go on to the main workout. So we've got 3 sections with 4 new core exercises for each section. So we're going to start with round 1, where we will do each exercise for 30 seconds continuously without stopping in between. And then you will take a rest. Then you repeat for the second round. And when you get to the 4th and final exercise, we do a 1-minute power cardio round. So I'm going to do mountain climbers for the cardio power round, but you can change that to a cardio exercise or a bodyweight exercise of your choice. So you could do star jumps, burpees, you could do walking on the spot, running on the spot, sprinting on the spot. You can change it to whatever you feel is the most suitable exercise for your current level and whether you want it high or low impact. So I'll let you know when that starts, and then we'll go into our second round of core exercises, 4 new exercises again, repeating twice with the cardio round at the end. And then our final round with 4 new exercises, core based. You only need a little bit of space, some water, a mat if you have one. And if you have some blocks, they would be useful towards the end for the last couple of exercises. But you can use alternatives and I will guide you as you go through. So if you want to get yourselves ready, find your space and get ready to go. So the first part of our warm-up, we're going to do some sun salutations. So you just need to make sure that you're up towards the top half of your mat. We're going to do 30 seconds for each movement, and we're going to start with sun salutation A. So you'll hear a beep when you need to start and when you stop. So we inhale. Stretch the arms up, exhale down towards our feet into forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Then exhaling, step back into your high plank. Knees or toes, chaturanga. Lift to cobra or upward dog. And then exhaling back to downward facing dog. Just holding here for a few breaths. Then lifting up onto the toes, crouch. And step your feet towards your hands. Take an inhale breath to come back up and exhale, hands to center. So now we're going to do some walkouts. So feet about hip width distance apart. Tuck the chin to the chest, roll the spine down, take a walk out onto the hands and then back up to standing. Roll the spine all the way back up. So keep going with that for me. Walk out and then back. So making your way back up to standing, we now go on to hip mobility. So a little bit more space in front. Tip forwards, bring the hands down towards the ground, lower down into a squat, lift your hands to shoulder height, reach and stretch back. So we tip forwards, hips back, lift and stretch. Hold it there. Okay, so for our 4th movement, we're going to do sun salutation B. So inhaling to chair pose, exhale to forward fold, inhale to halfway lift, step back, chaturanga, knees or toes, inhale to cobra, exhaling back into downward dog, right foot steps forwards, inhale to warrior 1, exhale down, step back, chaturanga. Inhale, lift. Let's just finish off this last sun salutation. So stepping the left foot through, right heel pivots, lift to warrior 1. Releasing the hands down, step the feet back, chaturanga. Inhale, lift the chest to cobra, then exhaling back into downward facing dog, holding here for a few breaths. Then lifting onto the toes, crouch, step the feet forwards, inhale back into chair pose, and then exhale, release. We're going to repeat the walkouts. Chin to chest, round the shoulders. Take a walkout onto the hands and then back up. So we're going to do this final round of walkouts and our final round of hip mobility, and then we'll get started. Okay, so hip mobility. Tip forwards first, hands towards the floor, lower the hips, lift the hands to shoulder height, stretch it back. So straight legs, hips down, hands up, and release. So this is the last part of the warm-up. Okay, we'll finish off that last one and grab a drink of water if you need to. So we're going to go into our first block very shortly. We've got 4 exercises that you're going to do for 30 seconds each, going from one exercise to the other without stopping. And then after we've repeated that twice, we do our final power round, which is 1 minute of mountain climbers. So, just get my timer ready. So before we start, I'm just going to run through the first exercise. So you're going to lay down on your back with your legs extended up in the air. We can either have our arms by our side or our hands across the chest. Lifting the head and shoulders up, we're going to bring the legs down about halfway and scissor the legs. If you want to make it a bit more challenging, you come slightly lower. Second exercise, boat to canoe. So we come into the boat pose, we lower down to canoe, and then tuck back up into boat. Option, hands under the shoulders, lower down and back up. Then for our final exercise, either 2 rounds of bridge lifts, or we do the single leg bridge. So lifting the hips up, right leg in the air. You're going to lower the right leg down, knees level, and then back up to straight. And for the final round, you repeat that on the left side. So scissors first. Head and shoulders up, scissor the legs. You can have your arms down on the ground, or we can keep the hands across the shoulders, and we're trying to lift the head and shoulders off the ground. A little bit stronger when the feet are closer to the floor. Okay, exercise number 2, come up to seated. We come into boat to canoe. So either hands on the ground or hands off. So we're lowering down into canoe pose, then back into boat. So down and lift, down and lift. Push the heels away, lean the body back. Okay, third exercise, lower down. We're going to start with the right side, pushing up into bridge and raising your right leg in the air. So we exhale, knees level, back up. So keeping your hips up as high as you can. If you're doing this with both feet on the ground, you're going to lift into bridge and then lower down. So if your lower back is not quite up to the single leg variations, stay with the double leg bridge. Okay, left side. So lifting up, extend that left leg. We lower down and lift up. Lower down and lift. Keeping those hips as high as you can. So you get a rest after this round. And we repeat the same 4 exercises again before our cardio round. Hold it there. Bring the knees to the chest. Give them a little hug. So you can stay here, or if you want to come up for a drink, go for it, because we've got scissors next. So bring your legs up in the air, either arms by your side or hands across the chest. Get ready to lift the head and shoulders up when you hear the beep. Probably could have rested a bit longer. Okay, off we go. So we're lifting up, scissor the legs, either arms reaching down across the chest, or if you need a little bit more support, bring the hands lightly across the back of the head. Scissor the legs. So you want that continuous movement from the right to the left. Keep breathing. Okay, second exercise, come up. Either supported or unsupported boat to canoe. So unsupported, extend the arms, we push away, tuck in. Nearly there. All right, lay back, tuck the heels in. So option 1, double bridge lift. So lifting and lowering the hips. Option 2, we lift into the bridge, extend that right leg, lower the right leg. Bring it down so that the knees are about level, lifting the hips up as high as you can. Change sides or stay with the double leg bridge lift. So after this round, you're going to have a 10-second changeover. Then we're going to do 1 minute of mountain climbers. Okay, so come up to seated. Change over to on your front, hands under the shoulders. So you're going to do 1 minute or as much or as long as you can over the minute. So pushing up through the wrists, lifting yourself into, it's given us 30 seconds. Never mind. Okay, so you got a 30-second rest. So you're going to start in 3 seconds. So 1 minute of mountain climbers. Hands under the shoulders, lift up onto your feet and get ready to bring the knees towards the chest. Okay, go. So we can go a bit slower, tapping, or we can do more of a running motion. Try and keep the shoulders stacked above the wrists. That continuous motion, knees to chest. Breathe. If you need to take a breather, quick stretch back, straight back in. How long we got? 2 seconds. Stop there. All right, take a rest. So push back into the heels. Bring the forehead towards the ground. Now we've got 4 new exercises. So grab yourself a quick swig of water. She says, where's it gone? So if you have a dumbbell, a block, tin can, you can use that for the first exercise. We're going to start with the right knee bent, left leg straight, left arm out to the side. Okay, so bring your block to your shoulder. You're going to lift up. So this is a half get up. So we push up. The aim is to use your left arm just a little bit to push you up towards the left side. Okay, switch sides. So bend the left knee, right leg straight. Off we go. Push up and then back down. You can keep the arms straight, or, especially if you're using a dumbbell, maybe add some movement. Tell which is my slightly stronger side. So pushing up and then back down. Push up, back down. Okay. Next one, toe reaches. So from here, reaching up. The hands coming up towards the toes. Either knees bent or legs straight. So reaching up and release down. Okay, now leg lowers. Option 1, alternate leg lowers. Option 2, double leg lowers. So feet together, we lower down and lift up. Maybe bring the arms in a little bit. So lowering down, lifting back up. Breathe out, breathe in. Breathe out, breathe in. Keeping your lower back as firm to the ground as you can. Okay, rest. Bring the knees to the chest. Little sway side to side. So we're going to go back to the half get-ups first. Give myself a bit more room. So bend the right knee, left arm down. Grab your block, dumbbell, or you can do it with a hand kind of resting onto your shoulder or your chest. Okay, so when we hear the beep, get ready to go. Off we go. So lifting up, push up, back down. Push up, release down. Holding something just gives this arm something to do. Otherwise it can feel a little bit like it doesn't know what to do with itself. Okay, switch. So straight in, push up and back down. So pushing towards that right side. All right, toe reaches. So lay back, lift the legs up. So we reach up, release down. So hopefully you're feeling a little bit more out of breath, a bit warmer. Okay, get ready for leg lowers. So either single, so option 1, right leg down, back up, left leg down, or both together. So we lower down, lift up, breathe out, and breathe in. Okay, short rest before we do another block of either mountain climbers, star jumps, jogging on the spot, whatever you want to use for your cardio round. Okay, so we didn't get the 30 seconds rest last time, so let's try it again. Okay, so you've got 60 seconds of mountain climbers. Push up through the shoulders. Go. So vary the tempo depending on your level. More cardio based, then you are running the knees. If you want to do it even more core based, then slow it down. Okay, so core based is not going to be quite as hard on the heart and lungs, but it's going to be a little bit tougher on the hips, the tummy, and the back. We've got 25 seconds to go. Try not to travel backwards. Keep your weight forwards, shoulders stacked above the wrists. And if shoulders are a little bit of an issue, you could do this from here. It's a little bit harder to do the faster motion, but it's still working in the same way. 2, 1, stop. Right, third and final round. So grab a quick drink. We've got 3 more exercises to do because one of them you repeat on each side. So we're going to do a side V-sit where we're going to use blocks, or you could use 2 water bottles or 2 tin cans. We're going to do a side plank and a front plank. So place the blocks about hip width apart so you can fit your feet just in between, so maybe slightly wider. Hands under the shoulders. So option 1, tap right, tap left. Option 2, lift both feet up. We tap right and left. So we go out and in. You can either hover just above the floor or you can physically tap. So you're going out and in. You could also try it without, going out and in either side. Okay, so right side plank. Elbow under the shoulder option, underneath knee bent, top leg straight. Or we can go for that stronger option with the feet scissored or the heels stacked. So lifting the hips up, extend that left arm up, hold, lifting up through the hips and the waist. Just hold steady. You're going to go straight from here into a forearm front plank. So lifting up, pushing up through the shoulders, squeeze down through into the legs so you're not making it all about the shoulders. Breathe option. Knees on the ground. You're still working your shoulders, your chest, your tummy, your back. It's just not quite as challenging as on the toes. Hold it there. Left side plank. So come onto that left side, either underneath leg bent, top leg straight, feet scissored, or the harder option is to stack the right on top of the left foot. Lift up through the waist, extend that right arm up in the air, push up through the shoulder. So I'd recommend this variation if you are not used to doing a side plank. Okay, it just gives you a little bit more support so that you can stay in that for the full 30 seconds. So we're going to repeat that combo one more time. Then we've got one more round of mountain climbers. Then it's stretch and done. Okay, so let's get ready for the side V-sits first. So you want 2 water bottles, 2 tin cans, or if you have yoga blocks, either side of kind of the middle of your shins, hands under the shoulders. Okay, off we go. So we go out and in. So it's a bit like the boat and canoe, just going out to the sides instead. An option, one heel stays on the ground. We tap out. It's not quite as challenging, but it's good if you have any kind of issues with the back, with tummy. So if you need a slightly modified option to get you going. Okay, so side plank, right side. So remember the options. One knee bent, feet scissored, or heels stacked on top. Lift the hips up, extend that left arm up. So keep reaching that left hand up like it's holding on to something to hold you up. Breathe. So like you're pulling yourself up with that left hand. Lovely. Okay, so come over onto your front. Now we're on forearms, or option, you could come up onto the hands into the extended plank. So if you're finding the 3/4 plank is not maybe challenging enough for you, but the forearm plank is too much on the shoulders, then come up into an extended plank position. You've got more muscles helping support you, so it's not quite as intense. Okay, left side plank to finish this section, and then we are going to do our final block of mountain climbers. So imagine you're holding something with that right hand, and that's pulling you up. So using that right arm to keep you pushing and lifting your hips off the ground. Keep breathing. Only gets harder if you stop breathing. So keep a continuous flow of breath. Okay, so we're going to go into our final round of mountain climbers, and then we're going to stretch and cool down. Okay, off we go. 1 minute. So variations with the mountain climbers. We've got our fast running mountain climbers. We've got our more kind of plank knee driver ones. We can go across, do more of a twisting style of mountain climber. So vary those mountain climbers to suit you. Go faster if you can. Slow it down if you need to. You're halfway. You've got 30 seconds to go. You should be sweating. It's a hot day outside as well, to be fair, so don't think it would have taken much, but it's all good. Okay, so 15 seconds to go. 1, 2, 1, 2. Keep the shoulders stacked above the wrists. You're almost there. Last few seconds. Stop. Well done. Grab a drink if you need one. Then join me for a stretch. So knees nice and wide. Reach the hands out in front. Bring your chest and your forehead towards the ground. Rest here. Child's pose. So don't worry if your breathing's heavy. That's normal. So don't try and slow it down. Enter the timer. Let your body naturally slow it down. So rather than trying to kind of restrain those heavy breaths, just let your body do what it needs to do. If it needs to breathe heavy, it needs to breathe heavy. It will slow down. So from here, we're going to lift up, bring the knees together, step your right leg out in front, come into a lunge for me. So I'd like you to rest your right hand onto your thigh, lift your left arm up. So lunging forwards and lifting that left arm so we're opening out the chest. Then taking a side bend towards the right side. So we lift up first, then we come into that side bend. Then from here, pushing back, so lifting your toes on the right side. If you can, see if you can bring your hands down towards the ground. If you've got blocks, you could always use those blocks. So if your hands won't comfortably rest onto the floor, then press the palms into the blocks. Okay, lift up. Change sides for me. So left leg steps out to the front. So first of all, we are lunging and reaching the arms up, opening out through the chest and the hips. Then we bring that left arm down. Continue to reach the right arm up and then take it across towards the left side. Stretching all the way down the side, your right side of your waist down to your hips. Then pushing the hips back, lifting your left toes up, using the blocks if you need to, or placing the palms straight down onto the ground. And we try to shift our weight forwards. So rather than rounding too much in the back, try and keep your chest pushing forwards and your head in line with the rest of the spine. Keeps your spine in a more neutral position. And then bring the knees together, pushing the hips back towards the heels. So I'll show you from the side. Again, you could use blocks if you need to. Stretching out the quads and the hip flexors. So we're going to press our palms either to the ground or to the blocks, lift our hips up, pushing the hips up towards the ceiling, squeezing the shoulder blades towards each other. Your neck can stay quite relaxed, or we can take a slightly deeper stretch with the head dropping back. Keep pushing the hips out further if you can until you feel stretch across the front of the thighs and the hips. Then release down. Reach your hands back towards your feet and bring your forehead to the ground. Just take a moment here. And then lifting back up into a high kneeling or a seated kneeling position. I would like you to reach your arms up, grab hold of your right wrist for me, and just lift and take that right arm towards the left. Stretching out the shoulder, side of the body, all the way down to the hips. Okay, left side. So grabbing your left wrist, lift and side bend. Reaching and bending the body across, and then come back to the center, release the arms down, shoulder stretch, take the right arm across the chest, bring your left wrist towards your right wrist, pull towards you, and just turn and look over your right shoulder. If you felt like you could have repeated those rounds again, you could always rewind just after the warm-up and start those rounds again. Left side, so take the arm across, wrist to wrist. Turn and look over the shoulder. So these holistic hybrid workouts are great to do on their own as your main or second workout of the day, or you can add them to your yoga practice, to a vinyasa or an ashtanga practice. Or perhaps you want to add them to, so particularly this one because it's a core-based one, maybe you want to add this to another class that you're doing or another workout that you're doing that's maybe more cardio-based. And then release. Okay, so coming over onto your hands and knees, so hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, tuck the toes under, lifting yourself into a downward facing dog, stretching through the back of the legs all the way down to the heels. Look towards your feet, and then we take a walk with our hands towards our feet. You can always take the feet a little bit wider if you need to. Bring those hands towards the ankles or the toes. Let the head rest downwards, and then we start to roll the spine all the way back up, coming all the way back up to an upright position. Take the arms out nice and wide for me. So thumbs up, hands reaching back. Then bring your palms together. Awesome. Well done. Thank you very much, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.